and this is actually my second tutorial. The first one was the left navigation using a tree view and a panel, wherein when you click the menu on the left side, it will just show you the forms or the modules on the right side. Okay, but now what I'm going to teach you is on how to create a complete create, read, and um, update with delete application or a module or forms, just like this one, using Listview with the search, with the new or a create module. And when you double click the data or the row items, it will show you the form filled in with the data that you click, ready for modification. Okay, so this is actually the chapter 2 of the tutorial, but I prefer to break it in 3 parts. So this the part 1 is just uh, to populate the list view with the search, and also I'm gonna show you how to connect this form to the database with the data layer class and the class or the business logic layer class. Okay, so let's start. So now I will create the data layer class for our application. So first I'm going to add an item. I'm going to name it as a data layer. Okay. I'm going to change this to public, and I will just copy actually the codes from my previous or from our complete project. I'm going to use the fetch data table. Alright, we just resolved this one and this one. Okay, don't have the connection string yet, so let's just copy this one. As you can see, the code is still complaining. Just have to click the properties here and create, or go to the settings, and now we're going to create a connection string here. So from here we will connect our application to our existing database. Right. So I'm gonna cancel it first. I'm gonna copy this one, then go back here, paste the name, the server name, and okay. Now I'm going to select the MMS's tutorial. Test the connection. Okay. Now we have our connection string. I'm gonna name it as MMC's connection string. Let's save it. Okay. So in my next tutorial, I will explain these codes, but for now we'll just focus on how to populate the data from the list view. Okay. Now I'm going to create another class, which is the business logic layer, specifically for OTP, or the offer to purchase layer. This will actually handle the create, the update, and delete, or the population of the list view. So as you can see, this class contains update record module, insert OTP, get records, get record by record ID, and so on. But for this part, or for the part 1 of this tutorial, I will just use the get records, or Actually, the get records procedure. This one actually called a stored procedure from the SQL database, which I will show you in a while. So I'm gonna add another class and we'll name it as OTP. Okay, and I will just copy this part, the get records. Okay, so you see the code is also still complaining, so I will resolve this one, but this one I will have to instantiate the data layer that we created before. So how to do that? Data layer PL is equals to new data layer. So by creating an instance of this class, of the data layer instance, you are now able to access the fetch data table uh, function. Uh, so if we will just try to replicate the codes, something like this, return dl dot fetch data table. You see? So you can now pass the string query, wherein in this case we use the stored procedure in our database. It's actually defined here. Uh, what's the name? SP query get offer to purchase. Get offer to purchase. This is actually, so this code is actually calling the stored procedure here. So I'm gonna type it here. Like that. There we go. So what it actually does, this stored procedure accepts a parameter search. When it accepts it, it will just call this SQL query, wherein the condition is it will select all the data from the database, where the search parameter compares it to the last name, first name, and contact number. So any data that has uh, similar to last name, first name, and contract number, it will show you the data. So basically, that's it. So, but how to create a sort procedure? So, in order for you to create a sort procedure like this, you'll just have. You can start by creating new query. So, just create proc. Just name it. And add here from here. There. There you go. So if you check this one right now, okay, we don't have data yet. So this script will not allow you to create because the stored procedure exists already in our database. So what I'm going to do is to delete this stored procedure first. So we will try to recreate this one using this one. So just try to execute. So it completed successfully. So refresh. So there you go. It's there again. Okay. So now the stored procedure is ready to accept or it's ready to be called by the application. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is to connect this function to our form so that when it loads or when you click the search button it will populate this one. So double click the search button and actually I'm gonna create another procedure here. Let's say void load records, and I'm gonna copy the codes from our original application. So rule records, this one from here. Alright, so first I'm going to instantiate the OTP class here. So OTP is equals to new OTP. Now, if you will check this code, it will return you a data table from the data layer class. Check this one. So this one will return you a data table. Okay. So this one will this line of code will just clear the records or the exist if there's any existing records in our list view. So by the way, I named the list view as LB records. We'll check the properties of this. It's LB records. So this one will clear and created a for each codes will populate each of the line items in the database row. So let's try it by line by line. Copy this one here and we'll try to run it. Now when I click the search button it will go exactly here. By the way, if you click the F11 so you can see line by line codes. So now it will call the get records from your business logic layer or the OTP class. From there, it will call the data layer class, which will fetch the query. You pass it in with an empty search parameter. It will then pass the existing connection string from our settings. Open the connection, pass the database or pass the query to the command. So this one should actually fill the data table here. But now, since we don't have any data yet in our database, it will return a data table with an empty row. So this will not fill. So see, it skips because it doesn't have any row. So as you can see, we don't have data. Now I'm gonna insert sample data here now because we don't have the module for for the create, it will be on my next tutorial. So now I will write directly the database so that we can actually see that the codes will retrieve this data from the database. I will just leave the file name as empty. Okay, there we go. So this one has the data now. So when I click the search button, it will just run it line by line. There you go. Okay. Basically, that's it for our list view tutorial. For our next part of this chapter 2, I will show you how to create a form that will actually insert a data here. So when you click the new button, the one that I showed you earlier, which will pop up the form for the create new item, and will update the list view for the recently created data. So watch out for my next tutorial. Thank you.